Let me just sort this out. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope you're doing well. We are back, guys. We are back. Hope you're good. Hope you're blessed. Hope you're having a fabulous Sunday, guys. A fabulous Sunday, wherever you are in the world, guys. Hope you had a good one, guys. Please, before I start, please don't forget to smash a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Easy for you to say. Subscribe to the channel. And please don't forget to put your notifications on, all that sweet stuff, everything, guys, absolutely. And yeah, fantastic. Guys, great to have you on board. Let's get straight into a bit of news, shall we, guys, and a little bit of transfer news, something to open up the airways and stuff like that, guys. We've got Fabian Ruiz, a 29-year-old PSG player who has been linked with a move to Manchester United on a loan deal with an obligation to buy in January, guys. Now, we all know about Fabian Ruiz, a very talented player, Spanish international, of course, guys. 39 caps for Spain, 6 goals. He's valued at around 40 million euros. PSG are looking to offload a couple of players so they can reinvest it in other stars, of course, guys. Manchester United are in the front of the queue for Fabian Ruiz and look likely to make a move for Fabian Ruiz in January, whether that be a loan with an obligation to buy or a cash deal, a part cash deal, half now and half later kind of thing, of course, guys. But Fabian Ruiz has been linked with Manchester United before, of course, which it didn't materialize. Kind of midfielder that I like, very experienced, capable, always available, and I would like that kind of signing. I think it would be an absolutely game-changing signing for Man United. It would be even better if we get a loan with an obligation to buy. That'd be absolutely fantastic, because then we can save the money on him and get another player in as well, of course, guys. Absolutely. Guys, what do you make about that? Fabian Ruiz, Manchester United. Interesting one going forward. Hopefully that materializes, of course. Now, you may have heard me mention a player a few weeks ago by the name of Gilberto Mora. He's a 17-year-old Mexican international, by the way. 3 caps for Mexico already. 3 caps for Mexico, only 17 years old. Got 5 caps for the Mexico under 20 as well, 3 goals. He is an attacking midfielder who plays in Mexico, and he is valued about 4.5 million, guys. And this is a guy that Manchester United are incredibly interested in. One of the high-end sort of young players that Man United are chasing at the moment is Gilberto Mora, of course, because of his versatility, the way he plays football, only 17 years old, already gaining experience in regards to that. I mean, only being 17, gaining experience, Mexican international at 17, absolutely incredible at the end of the day. But he's one player that Man United have been scouting for a while, and this is a whole part of Manchester United scouting in South America at the moment and Central America, around those areas, of course, trying to pick up the latest bargain, as we said, like Sabriabra, who I spoke about the other day, of course, guys, who Man United are interested in as well, the Argentinian player, of course, guys, absolutely. Don't be surprised if we are going to be linked with these players that are up and coming as well, but also players that are going to be not so much a stopgap, but more of like an experienced kind of player to come in, do a job, for a couple of years. And that would be Fabian Ruiz, of course. But Gilberto Mora is wanted by various other clubs as well around Europe. So if Manchester United are going to make a move for Gilberto Mora, they're going to have to act quick, to act sharply. Now, guys, you may have known, and you do know about this player. Of course you do. Mark Guéhi, Crystal Palace central defender, England international, absolute generational defender who currently plays in the Premier League, who almost signed for Liverpool in the summer, of course, and that didn't materialise. Now, it does look like Manchester United are interested in Mark Guéhi. Now, what's the key about Mark Guéhi? He is worth 50 million euros. But in 2026, he is on a free transfer, as we know. He has not signed a new contract with Crystal Palace, and a rumour is he's refusing to sign a new contract extension for Crystal Palace. Now, look, I don't sit here and proclaim to say that we need a defender. That is the most important thing that we need at the moment. But looking at Manchester United's defence recently, there's a couple of issues I've got there in regards to the wing backs in particular. The centre back, I would say, yes, in regards to Luke Shaw, but I don't think the centre-back positions are as crucial as the wing-back positions, because I think that a lot of our problems are coming from the wing-back positions. Too slow, too pedestrian, not strong enough, not powerful enough, the presence isn't there, in my opinion. Now, look, Gui is a centre-back, primarily a centre-back, and he would be a great addition to the squad. However, I think that Man United have got players like this. We've got players like this, the centre-back. I mean, if it was a left-sided centre-back, I wouldn't mind as much. But obviously, even with that, we've got Aiden Heaven. Of course, Luke Shaw's still there. I don't know. I mean, are we ever going to see the end of Luke Shaw? I honestly think we should see the back of Luke Shaw, in my opinion. I think Luke Shaw he's run its course, to be honest with you. I think we need to close the chapter on the Luke Shaw saga. So was it saga? To be honest with you, not Frank Sinatra, saga. Absolutely. So it is important that Man United do close the door on that, absolutely, because, he's been playing for Man United now for 11, 12 years, hasn't he? It's about time we moved on from that and just this nostalgia thing with him. I mean, isn't it funny, though, guys, that he's fit every single game now before World Cup? I mean, surprise, surprise. It is very funny. But Mark Gui, fabulous player, of course he is. But the one thing I would say, which I have concerned, I don't want to stifle the development of Aiden Heaven, of Lenny Yoro. These players who are absolutely game changers as well. Mazraoui, of course, we can't forget about him, guys. Absolutely not. I do feel like we need specialist wing backs. I feel like that. I don't think that Ahmad is a wing back. As much as I loved his goal yesterday, I don't think the performance was up to levels, but he's not the only one. Dalot was absolutely atrocious yesterday. And yet again, Dalot has this kind of performance in his locker. We know that. We've seen it so many times, guys. We've seen it over the years with Dalot. Last season, we were calling that Dalot in regards to the games against Porto and games like that where we kept losing his man and ill discipline in his position, etc. But look, the great thing about Dalot is that he is always fit and he's got a good attitude. And that's the only shining light I could put on Diogo Dalot at the moment. But we also have to remember, guys, that, what can Ruben Amorim do? Like, we don't have much choice. We don't have many players who are available for us, of course, guys, absolutely. And I feel like we need a bigger squad. There needs to be a bigger squad in Manchester United, absolutely. The squad needs to be invested in, should I say, and we need to bring in some players that not only for the first team but for the squad as well. And that brings me obviously to Lucas Paqueta. Obviously, this news around here about Lucas Paqueta, it has wheels. Manchester United are looking into bringing in Lucas Paqueta, but the only problem is obviously West Ham United. He's valued at 35 million euros. West Ham United would only look for a permanent deal for Lucas Paqueta. It does. The reason that West Ham United are looking to offload Paqueta, it's due to Paqueta himself. Paqueta wants to leave West Ham United, and West Ham would listen to offers. However, Man United will be looking for a loan deal with an obligation again, and Man United won't be wanting to pay the 35 million euros that West Ham would require, at least, of course, guys. Absolutely. Now, guys, I want to say hello to everyone and thank you, everyone, for your well wishes yesterday. Really appreciate you. Absolutely. And thank you, guys, for all the messages, all the lovely messages. You're absolute legends. And it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Shame I missed the watch along. Was a good game. Managed to catch the game in the evening. So it's frustrating. The game was frustrating. But what I would say, guys, in football in general, you draw games sometimes. You don't win every single game. I know that. It would have been nice to win 4 in a row. I know that, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we have to just accept that it was a draw. We showed good spirit to come back. We were 2-1 down. I mean, the worst thing about it was the fact that we were 1-0 up and then straight fire 2-1 down. It sort of reminded me of the old days with Man United when we, would concede one and our heads would drop and we concede another. We can't be doing that anymore because I expected, because yesterday I couldn't watch the game completely live. I only saw bits and bobs of it. But when I saw it, I saw 1-0 to Manchester United. I thought, oh, yeah, great. Let's go. But then you turn off the phone for a couple of minutes, you turn it back on, and it's 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. I'm like, what's going on here? What the hell? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But we managed to get back. In other years, we would have drawn that game, lost that game, to be honest with you. And I'm pleased that we managed to salvage it. And we could have indeed won it at the end, of course, guys. Absolutely. Time is ticking, guys. Obviously, we got the African nations coming up, and then we've got the window opening for the transfers. So, look, we might have to put up with about 10 days without some players, of course, guys, before the transfer window opens. And I like to think that Man United are going to do a lot of business this January. I really do feel that. I feel like Ruben Amorim is demanding it. But this is exactly what we were saying, though, isn't it? This sort of thing should have been sorted out in the summer. All these noises and these players at AFCON and etc. We should have known that already, of course, guys. Absolutely. Let me just say good afternoon to the community. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're good. Big up All Bars One, smashing it, bro. Great channel. Thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate you. Big up RJ. Peace and blessings to everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is blessed with you as well. RJ, what do you make out of the Spence and Van der Vaart video? Yeah, I saw that, to be honest with you. I think it's unprofessional from the players. I think that, my stance is in regards to this, whether you get on with the manager, whether you agree with the manager or not in regards to Tottenham Hotspur, you don't air your dirty laundry in public. So what you do is that you go into the dressing room and you have it out. You speak to the manager face to face. You don't embarrass the manager in front of the world. I just don't think that is right, whether you like Thomas Frank or not. But the cracks are starting to show with the Tottenham Hotspur, isn't it? Again. And there you go. Everyone was comparing Ruben Amorim to Thomas Frank. Oh, well, look at Thomas Frank, how Thomas Frank is doing this, he's doing that. This is exactly what we're talking about at the end of the day. This is Premier League football. We're dealing with egos here. But one thing I would say about the Tottenham Hotspur players, Van der Ven, of course, and Spence, I admire both of those players. Very, very good players. Wouldn't mind those players at Man United, by the way. Obviously, Jed Spence has been absolutely phenomenal. Ex-Nottingham Forest player as well. Been phenomenal at Tottenham, got in the England squad, etc. But what you don't do, you have to show an element. You have to show an element of professionalism wherever you are in football, because the world is watching. And what does that look like? I felt cringe when I watched it. I don't know how you guys felt, but I felt a little bit of cringe. I felt a little bit sorry for Thomas Frank, but not obviously wholeheartedly sorry for him. But I felt a little bit cringe. I thought that's a little bit unprofessional, that. Do you know what I mean? Them doing it. But great timing, because Manchester United play Tottenham next. And hopefully they carry on that toxicity before the Tottenham game, which would be absolutely fantastic. But knowing Manchester United, by then they'll be the best of friends. You know what I mean? And they'll be up for the game. You know what I mean? And wanting to prove a point. That's what happens with Man United, of course. What happened with Sean Dyche, of course, yesterday, of course, guys. Spurs might have come to us at the perfect time. Let's hope so, my friend. As I was saying, let's hope so. I'm happy with salvage. They draw yesterday. Anderson was an absolute menace. Absolutely. Look, you look at between Baleba and you look at Anderson, and you look at Anderson as being the one that is impressed the most at the moment. But obviously, that Man United are going to play Crystal Palace at the end of the month, so we're going to play against Adam Wharton as well. So it's like a competition of the players that can potentially sign for Manchester United. Adam Wharton's brilliant. He's got everything. He's got everything in his locker. He can go forward. He can defend. He can pass. He's the sort of player that Alex Ferguson would have snapped up in an instant. Absolutely a brilliant player. And I feel like if Man United can get him in the door, it's going to be fantastic. This is exactly what I was saying, though. I was concerned about these players, because these players will have good seasons, and then another team is going to be interested in them. And especially the central midfield at the moment, you're looking at Liverpool, Real Madrid, all these teams are going to be looking at fixing and bolstering their central midfield positions, of course, guys. Do you know what I mean? So I would say that he would be a brilliant signing for Man United, but it's not going to be easy to sign him. I had a Nottingham Forest fan on here. They were quoting 80 million, which is a lot of money for him, in my opinion. Good morning, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Sanjay, big up. And my thoughts are with the victims of the Huntington train attack. Yeah, my thoughts with that, absolutely. I don't know what's going on with England at the moment. My home country, of course. But you know what? These things have been going on for years and years and years. There's a problem, and to be honest with you, and we hope that it is resolved, and we hope that the people are brought to justice. Absolutely. Thoughts and prayers. Absolutely. Thank you, Sanjay. RJ, looking fresh to death, Sal. Thank you so much, RJ. Really appreciate it. It's always nice to get a compliment. Always nice to get a compliment. Thank you so much. Daryl, what's going on, Daryl? Long time no see. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Afternoon, Sal. Lucky we didn't lose yesterday. Dalot cannot play no more on the left, and Ahmad marking Morgan Gibbs. Why? I know, mate. I don't understand why we're glad we didn't lose. Look, this is exactly what I was saying, Daryl. This is why I don't believe that Ahmad is a right wing back. I think that if Ruben Amorim wants to play that formation, we can't play Ahmad. Unfortunately for Ahmad, whoever plays on that right-hand side attacking midfield, it has to be rotated. We can't just play players and shoehorn them in the team just because, they're fan favourites or whatever they are. Now, fantastic goal from Ahmed, but the performance was a little bit suspect again. And I don't blame him so much in regards to the defending side of things, because he's not a defender and he's never going to be a defender. He's about 5'5", isn't he? He's not going to be a good defender. And Dalot losing his man. We've been speaking about Dalot, you know, Daryl, isn't it? We've been speaking about Dalot for a very long time now. It's been ages, hasn't it? You know what I mean? That we've been calling out Dalot for his incompetencies and stuff. And he's just not a good player for Man United. He really isn't, whether he's right, left. He's just prone to make a mistake and let you down at any given time, in my opinion. And I feel like I like the lad. I like him. I think he's a great personality. I think he's a great energy about him in regards to his positivity and in regards to his kind of, I'm not going to call him a beat the chest sort of player, but he's got this really good vibe about him. But what's most important as a footballer, that is what's most important at the end of the day. And he's just not that guy, in my opinion. Half time, West Ham 2, Newcastle 1. West Ham are one of those teams, RJ, man. They're one of those teams. I mean, they'll pick it up when they don't need to, of course. Big up, Roy. What's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. This reminds me of United's 2022-23 season, but not even better version of it. Lost the first 2 games, so to Brentford and Brighton, and won a Carabao Cup, reached an FA Cup final, and went on to a title charge. I think, yeah, but we drifted away in the title charge, didn't we? We were way behind, isn't it? I want to see a consistent title charge where Man United are close to the top. Now, I spoke to someone over the weekend, and they got very, very upset about it because they don't believe that Man United should aim for the top. They said it's unrealistic, and they said that we're lying if we think that Man United should be aiming for the top. Now, look, that's a big statement, isn't it? At the end of the day, none of us are lying. At the end of the day, the players are good enough to mount a title challenge. This league is not as strong as you'd think. And obviously, we just beaten Liverpool, we beaten Brighton, we beaten Sunderland. We're 4 games unbeaten now, guys. And what people who lower their expectations and try to gaslight people into thinking lower, their problem. Because at the end of the day, when you're a Manchester United fan, if you've been a Manchester United fan for a long time, you would know that Man United were built from adversity. You would know that Man United come from the bottom. They come from people who don't expect us to do anything, and then we end up doing amazing things. That is what Man United are. So whether it is unrealistic, whether it is unfashionable to say it, but Man United should always be looking at the top. And Alex Ferguson said it on the video I posted on Twitter. He said that whether it's unrealistic or not is irrelevant. Man United should always be aiming at the top of the league. Even if it's unrealistic, even if it's impossible, it feels impossible. We should always go into the season feeling like there's a possibility that Man United could challenge. Whether it happens, whether it materializes, is irrelevant. You've got to aim at the higher, because if you aim lower, you know what's going to happen, especially with a number of these players. Now, when we talk about the 15th place last season, we talk about when we came 15th, there was a lot of context involved in the 15th place last season as well. A lot of those players down-tooled because they had the Europa League and they were concentrating on the Europa League. They felt we're going to get the Champions League and blah, blah, blah. When it wasn't a given, of course. Everyone thought we're going to beat Spurs and we're going to enter the Champions League. So what those players did, they down-tooled in the league, and they were just given an inch and they took a mile, right? So that has context in it, and that is why I don't trust a lot of these players in this team. Hopefully, this has changed. Hopefully, we won't get that anymore. But we still have a nucleus of those players in the team at the moment. So that's the reason we came 15th, right? There's no reason that Man United can't get into that top 4. There's no reason why Man United, if they keep winning games, they can mount a title challenge. Whether we foul in the title challenge or not, because Arsenal are phenomenal at the moment as a football team, is irrelevant. And I feel like, you know what, we shouldn't be lowering our expectations and our standards. Absolutely not. We should always have that in our mind, because if we don't have that in our mind, how on earth are we ever going to win the league? You know, at the end, if none of us, the Man United fans, don't believe it, how on earth are we ever going to win the league? You know what I mean? We have to believe that we can. We have to believe that these players are good enough. You know, Liverpool did it, for goodness sake. That Liverpool side did it. You know what I mean? So why not us? Also, 4 games won in a row. Big up, my friend. Big up. Yes, you're very right, Roy. Good to see you. Big up, my friend. What's going on? Hey, I hope you're doing well. Very well. Good to see you. We had a bad hurricane here in Jamaica. Yes, I heard about it. Been off for a while. Happy for the draw, disappointed, but grateful. I hope you're doing well, Millie. Good to see you in the house. Back, guys. I hope everyone is well in Jamaica. Of course, there was that big hurricane. Of course, guys, absolutely wishing you all the best. Prayers and thoughts are with your family and friends at this difficult time. It's a very, very, very sad thing to happen. Of course, it's prone to happen in that area of the world. And just wish everyone the best, of course, with the hurricane. And hopefully, as Jamaica, I know Jamaica very well, we'll come back stronger, of course. Thank you so much, Millie. Good to see you back, of course. Sam. Big up, Sam. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. We need left wing back and a right wing back, 2 midfielders. I agree with Sam here. Absolutely spot on. We do. Look, I'm not giving up on Dorgu, by the way, Sam. I just feel like we need a little bit more experience in there just to solidify that defense a little bit. And I want to see more creativity for the wings, and that's what I want to do. I'm not seeing nothing on the left and the right. I feel sorry for Sesko just standing in that box, not getting any balls, no crosses coming in because the players are more inclined to cut in and shoot, of course. And look, to be honest with you, we need a lot. This is why exactly what I said, Sam, isn't it? I said it this morning that we had a 4 out of 5 out of 10 window this summer, and it needs to be improved. Absolutely. Big up, Jager Binno. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hi, Sal. Would United be able to pull the Gilberto Moura deal against Barcelona? Now, look, it's a very difficult one, Gabino, but you make a good point because obviously when you think about obviously Barcelona, who've had the likes of they've had a Mexican play for them before. I think he was a defender who played for them a long time ago. Of course, I can't remember his name, but he was a Mexican who played for them. When Latin players get linked to Barcelona, Real Madrid, or any Spanish club, they're more inclined to go to Spain because they speak Spanish, the cultural, the same, etc. But that's not to say that Man United are out of it. They're not out of the race at all. Man United are Man United. But what Man United need to do is Man United need to act quickly in this because he is wanted not only by Barcelona, he's wanted by other football clubs around Europe as well. However, I like to think that the money that we spend on Vavel and Wilcox and Berrada, we are very, very persuasive in regards to transfers now. The only problem is obviously financially, of course, guys, absolutely. And he would cost nothing, to be honest with you. He wouldn't cost a penny. Well, he would. It would cost about 5 million. But with Manchester United, it'll probably be about 10, 15 million for Gilberto Moura. Guys, absolutely, with the Man United tax, of course. Right. In 2022, they also beat Barca in the Europa League, if I remember. Yes, Anthony scored the winner. I remember that great game at the Nou Camp, as it always is at the Nou Camp, of course. It was a 2-2 draw at the Nou Camp. Man United took it back to Old Trafford, won the second leg 2-1. Of course, was a difficult game, was a penalty for Barcelona. I remember it very well. Man United have had some great results over the last 15 years. When you think about results for Man United, you think about the PSG game, the Barcelona game. We've beaten Arsenal, we've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten everyone. The problem is Man United is the consistency. It's the consistency. And even in that season, like you were mentioning, Roy, we got to a stage that there was a point when we were top of the league. And then we just drifted away. And we didn't really mount a title charge, did we? I think it wasn't the COVID year, was it? No, it wasn't the COVID year. But I think what Man United need to do is that they need to concentrate, they need to mount a proper title charge that is pushing the club close, pushing the opposition close. You know what I mean? Not just fading away into the abyss with 20 points behind, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Roy. Samuel, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Can't we sign either Gui or Chatterbox? Oh, that's what I mean. Schlotterbeck, I haven't mentioned him in a long time, Samuel. He's a very good player, of course, but I mentioned him in a few months ago of Dortmund. And this summer, they are both great centre-backs. What I would like, can I be honest with you, Samuel, if Man United are going to get a centre-back, I would like to get Mark Gui. That's my opinion, right? Because Mark Gui is an experienced Premier League player, plays for England, absolutely phenomenal player. Captain material as well, a leader, I would say, an absolutely great player. I would much rather have someone like Gui in the side. So Schlotterbeck is a very, very good player, up and coming, of course, guys. Liverpool be scamming those wins. They got lucky yesterday, didn't they? They got lucky. I didn't want to see a Liverpool fans happy. Absolutely not. Dan, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Sal, I thought Amarin's post-match comment says that he knows where the problems are. Maintaining our unbeaten run was the most important thing in the end. Look, at the end of the day, Dan, you make a good point, because at the end of the day, we are unbeaten in 4 games, and Man United's record in regards to games unbeaten is about 14 games, if I'm not wrong. If I'm not wrong, it's about 14 games. So Man United are on a good trajectory. They're on a good run, and we need to carry on this run. They're not going to win every single game. Unfortunately, that's just life. You're not going to win every single game. It would have been good to beat Nottingham Forest, of course, because Nottingham Forest are in the bottom 3. It would have been great to beat Nottingham Forest. But Man United are not going to win every single game, especially this Man United team. But remaining unbeaten is very, very important. Ruben Amorim does know the problems. He knows the issues at Man United. It's pretty evident. He's a great manager, and he knows where the problems are, and he needs to be backed, whether that be January and the summer. He needs to be backed. It's simple as that. And this 4 out of 10 window that he had in the summer wasn't good enough. And it does ask the question. It does beg the question that where would Man United be if they signed a couple of midfielders? Do you know what I mean? If they signed a defender, a wing back, and another attack or whatever. Big up, Dan. I hope you're doing well. What's going on, Darkus? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Barcelona grown. Marcus looking well fit and living his best life. Barcelona grown. Yeah, I hope they sign him. That's what I would say. I hope they sign him. Samuel, if we are serious as a club, we must go for DiMarco of Inter Milan. Look, DiMarco is a fantastic player. I've been speaking about DiMarco when he was at Napoli. DiMarco is a fantastic player. I would love DiMarco to sign for Manchester United because of his experience. And not only his experience, it's his personality and his attitude. He gives me that Licha Martinez sort of vibe. You know what I mean? And he's a very talented fullback, absolutely, and versatile as well. I would love him to come to Manchester United. I really would. Has gone a little bit quiet in regards to DiMarco, but he's a brilliant player, and he would be a great addition to Manchester United. His attitude is spot on, in my opinion. The UEFA draw was Europa League draw was actually rigged. I mean, Roy, what I would say about rigged and stuff like that, stop myself from being sued, of course, guys. But there is a little bit of sinister nature that goes on with draws all round, even goes the FA Cup, Champions League, Europa League. There's always a little bit of suspect activity that goes on in these FA Cup draws, Europa League draws, Champions League draws. We all know it. And it's quite obvious. I know a lot of techniques that they use as well. Phil, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. Hi, Sal. I'm pleased to see United fight back yesterday. Last season, we would have just given up. The opposition took control. There were ups and downs. Just keep up the fight and believe. Yeah, look, you're going to get games like that at the end of the day at Man United, and especially the way Man United are at the moment. We're not in the best way in regards to for the last few years. We do have down moments in games. I was a little bit disappointed that Man United conceded 2 quick-fire goals because that reminded me of the past. You know what I mean? When we concede one and then we concede another one straight afterwards. It's disappointing. But, however, as you said there, Phil, is that we fought back, and in other years we would have lost that game. We would have lost it. 100%. I agree. We would have lost that game, but we salvaged the point. If we lost that game yesterday, many of us will be here very disgruntled, very upset, you know what I mean, and back to square one sort of feeling. But we remain unbeaten, and let's remain unbeaten against Spurs. Hopefully we can beat Spurs. Spurs are not in a good way, but we all know what Spurs do. They like to play against Manchester United. They're going to raise their game for Manchester United, and don't worry about that. This is what these teams do, of course. Big up, Phil. Good to see you, mate. Darkus, very impressive. Anderson yesterday, he had it absolutely brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. But Cunha, yeah, needs to work. He needs to work, man. Definitely needs to work. West Ham beating Newcastle is good. Yes, absolutely. Mark, what's going on, my friend? Are we doing well? Last year, after 10 games, we conceded 9, but this year it's 16, which is 7 more, almost double. Yeah. I think we're a bit more prolific, though, mate. I think we're scoring a lot more goals than last year, of course. I think we're going to get into the plus goal difference this season, which we didn't do for the last couple of seasons. So that's a good thing. I think the biggest problem, let me tell you, Mark, the biggest problem is those wing backs. The biggest problem is Dalot, Shaw. They're not good enough for Manchester United. It's simple as that. Man United needs to change the defence. One of the biggest highlights last season was obviously Lenny Yoro, number 1, and Aiden Heaven, number 2. I would have played Aiden Heaven. I would play Aiden Heaven ahead of Luke Shaw all day long. Luke Shaw is not a competent left-sided centre-back for me. Not at a major club like Manchester United. I would play Aiden Heaven and I would play Lenny Yoro 100%, mate. Absolutely. And this is probably why we conceded less goals last season. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. But I think that, look, as long as we're scoring goals, it is a good thing that we are scoring goals. We are putting the ball in the back of the net far more frequently. Absolutely. Big up, Darkus. Great show, Sal. Thank you so much, Darkus. Good to see you. Voice of reason and answering all fans' comments. Big up, man. Thank you so much, Darkus. I'm glad you appreciate me, my friend. Some people don't, but really appreciate you. You're great. It's great comments. It's great to conversate about Man United with people from all around the world and get to know people's feelings about Manchester United, because there's so many different conflicting opinions out there about Manchester United at the moment that, it's hard to recognize what's the norm from the severe and the crazy from the reality. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And thank you so much, Darkus. Really appreciate you, my friend. West Ham are 3-1 up. Goodness me, Newcastle United. When is Eddie Howe going to be in problems, guys? That's one thing I would say. When is Eddie Howe going to have a little bit of problems? Going to have be put under pressure? It's an interesting one, isn't it? When is he going to have his job thrown at him? Do you know what I mean? When is that going to happen? But Newcastle are losing 3-1 to West Ham. Wow. But this is exactly what I've been talking about the Premier League. This is why we know, and I said this yesterday, everything is not guaranteed in Premier League football. You're not guaranteed to win every single game. This is the thing. And these teams are good now. These teams have money now. They can upset any team, But Nottingham Forest, hell yeah, they can draw with Arsenal any given time. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they can. This is the thing. And look at Newcastle today. West Ham United 3-1 down. You know what I mean? And everyone's ranting and raving about Newcastle United Champions League team as well. Absolutely. It's not 3-1. It's 2-1. Big up, Darryl. Has it been disallowed? That's no problem. You got me a little bit excited there. Big up, Darryl, for the update. Thank you. Newcastle, the Spurs of the North. I mean, Newcastle are a big club in Newcastle, in Tyneside, as they say. Newcastle are a big club in Tyneside. They're not a big club elsewhere in the world. You can walk for miles. Like, I'll give you an example. When I was born and raised in England, I hardly ever saw a Newcastle jersey. I hardly ever saw one, to be honest with you. You can walk for miles, you will see a Newcastle jersey. Absolutely. It's a bit like over here in Abu Dhabi, you don't see a Man City jersey, even though it is Man City territory. No, it's still no problem. Big up, Mark. We have scored five more plus missed 2 penalties, so close to the extra 30 goals we need. But definitely a defense is a problem now. I mean, Man United are always a problem. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, isn't it? That's the problem with Man United. We always seem to make problems for ourselves. I thought we fixed the defense last season when we had Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven, Mazrui, De Ligt. I thought we fixed that. I thought that should be the defense right now. I don't know why we keep reverting back to Dalot, Shaw, that sort of defense. I don't know why we keep reverting that back to that. I don't know, because last season our defense seemed to be working pretty well, in my opinion, of course. But, we need to fix that defense, as Alex Ferguson says. Defense wins you titles, of course it does. And that's where Arsenal are going well at the moment. They score a goal and they don't look like conceding the goal. And look, in regards to Arsenal, they are probably the most boring team of all time. But Arsenal have always been known as 1-0 to the Arsenal. They made a song about it back in 1994, I think, 93, 94, when they won the Cup, Winners' Cup, which doesn't exist anymore, beating Parma, and they made a song about it called 1-0 to the Arsenal. So Arsenal are no stranger to that sort of criticism, you know what I mean, in regards to that. But they make a song about it. They joke about it. Darkus, Dalot is okay on the right, damn right. He's all right. He's all right. The problem with Dalot, my friend Darkus, is that he's not an outlet that can create goals or anything, can cross or anything like that. I just don't think he's that guy. I really don't. I think he has bozo moments on the right and the left, mate. I think that Man United need to look at replacing him. I really do. Playing him on the left just to shoehorn him into the team is a disgrace. I feel like Dorgu should be playing there. As much as people don't want to rate Dorgu, he's still very young. He's 20 years old. Patrice Evra wasn't even at Monaco at 20 years old, of course. Beckham was at Preston North End at 20 years old. So we got to believe in the young player a little bit more than we are, rather than shoehorning Dalot into that left wing back position, which is not going to work. And every now and then, it may work once, it may work twice, but every now and then he'll have that moment where he gives away a goal. You know what I mean? And And this is the problem. And he's gifted away. Last season, I think he was responsible for about 70-80% of our goals conceded in regards to mistakes leading to goals. And it was ridiculous. So it was rivaling Anana, of course. Big up Darkus, my friend. Big up, my friend. Yeah, look, guys. Big up Stephanie. What's going on? I hope you're doing well. Big up Stephen. Sorry. Big up Stephen. You're not Stephanie. Big up Stephen Maguire, of course. Big up Sal. Big up. Good to see you back, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing blessed. Thank you so much for joining me today, my guy. Really appreciate you. Yeah, look, guys. Ultimately, when we're wrapping it up, I just feel like, we're disappointed, we're frustrated because we didn't win the game. We put in all that work and all that effort and we didn't win the game. We didn't get 4 in a row. And the fact that it is Nottingham Forest, it would have been much better if Man United beat Nottingham Forest and then drew against Spurs. Do you know what I mean? Because then we'll feel like, well, you know what? At least it's Spurs, at the end of the day. But don't be surprised if Man United beat Spurs. Don't be surprised if Man United beat Spurs, draw of Nottingham Forest and beat Spurs. And then there you go. We move on to the international break again. And then obviously we got Everton after that. After the Spurs game, which I think is a very important game before the international break. After the Spurs game, I think we got a few games which are generally winnable, in my opinion. I think they are winnable. I think we can win those games, absolutely. I think that if we beat Spurs, we will be in a good position in a month's time or something before the African nations. What Man United need to do is Man United need to rack up as many points as possible before the African nations, so that when it comes to the African nations, we've got enough points. That's a friendly blue city sweater you've got on, mate. So it's lightening the mood. Big up, my friend. Big up. Thank you, mate. Thank you so much for the compliment. Yeah, it's not like so much like this. Man United colours, away kit. That's what I would say. We have got an away kit of blue as well. You know what I mean? I think we had one like this, these colours, many moons ago, of course, if I'm not wrong. Of course, absolutely. But yeah, look, I'm looking at this league. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it and thinking that this league isn't as strong as people make it out to be. I think there's lots of points to be won. There's lots of points to be dropped, and I think that it's survival of the fittest. I think if Man United can manage to get in those Champions League positions, I think it'd be an incredible achievement for Manchester United. And I don't think Man United fans should be aiming at 10th either. Because there are some fans who think that's okay to aim at 10th. That's blasphemy at the end of the day. You're saying that Man United, I'll be happy with 10th. What kind of Man United fan would say, I will be happy with 10th? Anything above 10th is okay. Ridiculous, just because we came 15th last season. Phil, Sal, we have young players coming through, crying out for the break. Surely we have 1-2 place dialogue. We have Mantato. Phil, very, very decent player. Scanlon can play there as well, of course. We've got some good players. I don't know why he's not given an opportunity. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why. The thing is, what I bring in Sir Alex Ferguson. I always do bring in Sir Alex Ferguson to the stream because I like some of the quotes that he made. He said that if you don't give youngsters a chance, they stagnate and they decline. I feel like sometimes you can just throw in a Mantato, a Scanlon, a Fletcher, a Ibrahimov, a Musa. You can throw these players into the team, with 10, 15 minutes to go. And you can it's not like throwing them into the deep end, but also giving them that vital experience. So when you suffer adversity in regards to your team, losing players, for example, the AFCON, you got players ready-made to come in and already play football, rather than just signing players because, that's what the youth team is there for, and we have got a lot of talent in that youth team. I'll bring it back to the game against Hong Kong, the Asian All-Stars and Hong Kong. I looked at Mantato and I looked at some of those players and I thought they were phenomenal and I thought that they might get a chance. Also, Chido Obi Martin as well, another one. I thought they might get more of a chance this season, obviously not. But hopefully that narrative changes. Ruben Amorim is no stranger to bringing through young players. He has done it before. He's brought through at Sporting Lisbon. He had a philosophy of bringing through young players, of course, and developed some great players, some of the best. Big up Sal, top 4 at least. Yes, big up my friend Sal, top 4. Sorry, Sal, top 4 at least. Yes, no lower than that. No lower than that. We need to aim high. Aim for the stars, man. Absolutely. RJ, Sal, what is EastEnders? It depends what you mean by what is EastEnders. EastEnders is a program that used to come on every single evening in England on the BBC One. It is based on people in the East End of London. It's an area of London on the East End, right? So basically there's East End and there's Essex, right? So it's in between Essex and the East End. and London. So basically in between. So the East End is an area in London, and there was a program called EastEnders, right, which came on every single evening based around the East End, because obviously the East End is it's not like a tough place. It's a gritty place. It's a place that, you know, there's a lot of stories of surrounding it historically and stuff like that. That's why I'm an East Ender, for example, though. You can call me an East Ender. I'm an East Ender. I was born and raised in East London, so I'm an East Ender. You know, EastEnders is a program based on people like me, of course. Darkus, United is built from the academy. Amram hasn't brought anyone through. Not yet. He needs to start bringing some players. Definitely, he did it at Sporting very, very well. As we know, he's brought through a generational team at Sporting Lisbon, isn't it? I just feel like the pressure is so immense in England in the Premier League that, you know, you feel like if I'm going to bring a youngster in, it's going to cost me a game or something like that. But you have to be brave sometimes, especially in positions that you don't have many players, you know, and you've got injuries in those positions. I think you do have to try and bring through some, maybe 1 or 2, 20 minutes here, 50 minutes here. I think it will be good for him in the long term. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. No, I live in West East Ham. No, big up Darkus, big up West London, East London, of course. Absolutely. Look, you know, yeah, I've been all around London. I've lived in I was born and raised in East London. I've lived in Surrey. I've lived in South London. I've lived in Croydon. I've lived in Borough. I've lived everywhere. Guys, absolutely. Chingford, I've lived in, yeah. So, you know, yeah, look, big up London, by the way. It's bad. That's right, Sal. Big up RJ. Sal, so are you from the end, Sal? Technically speaking, yes, I am from the ends. Yes, I am. Absolutely, I am from the ends. Yeah, but yeah. Look, so I'm in Abu Dhabi now, loving it, and everything is great. Uncle Doi over here is great and lovely, and I don't have to worry about putting on a stab vest. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and that is one good thing about it, of course, guys. That's a good thing about it. What's going on over there? You know, it was always brewing. It was always been a problem, but yeah, it is what it is. I wish them all the best. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and hopefully, you know, criminals will be deleted, of course. What's going on over there, of course. My family is still over there, though. But yeah, absolutely. But yeah, guys, now it's all about Tottenham Hotspur. Man United got the Tottenham game, which is kind of, like a mini final. You know what I mean? And it's like a small, like a cup final for me, because I was looking at all these fixtures. I was looking at these games, and I was looking at the Tottenham game. And I was thinking, right, that's the final master of this little period. You know what I mean? That's the final master of this little period. So we got Tottenham, the final master. We beat them. We can go into that international break in good spirits, and we'll be up the league as well. Let's not forget, guys, we are 2 points from second place, right? I know it's hard to believe, right? And it's hard to believe that we remain like that. But, you know, we have to aim higher. And this Tottenham game is extremely important. And this is the game I'm looking at. You know what I mean? And Tottenham look like they're in turmoil at the moment, which is good, of course. Absolutely. Yeah, I lived in South. I lived in Croydon. I lived in Borough, which was beautiful, to be honest. Borough was right next to London Bridge, just a walk away. Big up, Rasta. What's going on, Rasta Stocks? How you doing? Bless up. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you back, my friend. Good to see you again. I hope you're having a great Sunday. Enjoying it, of course. Hope you're blessed, of course. Big up. What's going on with Man City owner? Don't know, mate. Don't know. EastEnders from the east, and Arsenal fans are Bellenders from the north. Big up, Mark. Actually, they're from the south. They were originally from Woolwich. They're from southeast, yeah. Don't tell them that. Arsenal originally, they're the North London, pride of North London, but originally they came from Woolwich Arsenal. That's where they came from, Woolwich. Yeah, that's why they're called Arsenal. So a little bit of history lesson there for you. They're called Arsenal because of Woolwich Arsenal, which is a train station on the DLR. And that is Southeast London, in Southeast London. Yes, not a great area, definitely not. But that's where Arsenal originate from. Rasta, yeah, man, I'm good. Me and the co-workers are watching the stream at work. Big up, my friend, and big up everyone who's watching. Really appreciate you all. And big up Rasta Stocks, absolute legend, of course, guys, absolutely. Hope you're all doing well in NYC. Hope you're good. Hope you're blessed. And winter is coming, you know. Get your mittens on for the sub-zero conditions, of course. I'm in Abu Dhabi, so I don't need to worry about that. Sorry, I don't need to worry about it, but don't need to rub that in. But there you go. Absolutely. But it's love. I think New York's really lovely. It's not very, very, really lovely. I sound very English, but I think New York is very nice in the winter, especially at Christmas time. My brother lives there, so there you go. So look, guys, we're building up, we're gearing up to the Tottenham Hotspur game. Hotspur, look, you know what? Every time that comes in, guys, I have to do it. I'm sorry. I apologize, but it is part of the tradition now. It has come a little bit a part of the tradition. Here we go.
Do you know Tottenham?
What?
Tottenham Hotspur?
Topspur?
No.
What's that?
you never heard of them?
No?
We never heard of them. Absolutely not. We never heard of it. Even the Europa League final, we didn't know who we were playing. Absolutely. And if anyone thinks we're going to lose to Tottenham...
Come closer. What is the sound of one hand clapping?
I don't know. What is the sound of one...
There you go, guys. We're going to beat Spurs. Absolutely. And if you still think we're not going to beat Spurs...
Fuck off!
There we go, guys. We are. We owe them one. They beat us 4 times last season. So we got to get one over them, especially because of that Europa League final. If we don't, I'll be absolutely fuming, guys. I really would be. Absolutely. Because it don't provoke me, guys.
Don't provoke me to anger, or else you'll be in danger.
There you go. Big up. RJ, no to digital IT. Yeah. This has always been a plan, though. RJ, absolutely. It has always been a plan. Big up, Lawrence. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Afternoon, Sal. Prediction for Spurs. I used to work in Woolwich in one of a few periods. So did I, mate. So did I, Lawrence. Small world. I used to work in, you know where I used to work? I've forgotten the name of it. New Look. I did. I used to work in New Look. I used to work in the job centre as well in Woolwich Arsenal. Yeah, job centre plus. A bit of a dump, really, with this. But I mean, you go to Woolwich Arsenal, everyone knows if you go to Woolwich Arsenal, it's an absolute mess. I mean, you come out of Woolwich Arsenal station, you've got the market right in front of you. You got the square, and oh my goodness me, it's an absolute mess. I used to work in New Look, and I used to work in the job centre as well. I've done a few jobs there, Lawrence. I've done a few jobs, mate. I've been around the block. I've worked hard, mate. Absolutely. What's that? Absolutely. There you go. Absolutely. Sal, what do you think about this? Gabriel Heinze is Arsenal's defence coach. Who has the best defence in the league? Arsenal, yeah. Strange, really, because, you know, Gabriel Heinze, when he used to play for Manchester United, he used to be very clumsy with the ball. You know, it's funny. Rasta. 3-point lane, absolutely. That's his name, absolutely, Rasta. Let's go and get that. Let's go and get it, man. We have to get it. We owe them one. We got Liverpool. We gave them one. We deserve to give them one. 2016, we done it. We done it then, and we got one over Liverpool, and we beat Brighton. Maybe it's the season of, you know what, revenge, of course, hopefully. Darkus, oh dear, don't pass that, man. The mic. Big up. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I mean, why would you go into an audition like that? Why would you do that? Why would you go into an audition with that? I have no idea why anyone on their right mind. You've got to be off your mind, absolutely. You've got to escort that guy out of the building. Of course, guys, absolutely. But yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun in love and war, as they say, of course. And we got a draw against Nottingham Forest. We did not lose. It's great. Guys, I'm happy. And look who's in the house. Marky Mark, the actual legend. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Afternoon, Sal, and the community. How are you, my friend? Very good. Good to see you, my friend. Gutted we didn't get the win, but happy we didn't lose. Absolutely. Keep up the great work. My friend, Global Man United. Thank you so much, Marky Mark. I really appreciate you, my friend. Absolutely. And I like the positivity. I like it. Obviously, we didn't lose the game. And in the past, Marky Mark, we probably might have lost that game. You know, last season, I think we did lose that game, didn't we? So at the end of the day, I think it's good that Man United showed some character to get back into that game in the end and get a draw. I mean, as Alex Ferguson said, hate going back to Alex Ferguson, but as Alex Ferguson said, as long as you get something from the game, that's what's most important. RJ, Sal, I'm not worried about Spurs. I don't know why. I'm not worried about anyone, about Man United. I'm always saying that Man United are going to win. I was a little bit concerned about Nottingham Forest because I know that Nottingham Forest will have that new manager, Balfour, Sean Dyche. And I didn't like the little bit of shenanigans what was going on between Sean Dyche and Ruben Amorim before the game because I think that generally doesn't work in your favour. I think what you need to do is just keep things quiet. Keep it about football. And I think that actually affected everything. Absolutely. Big up, Marky. Big up, of course. Nice photo, dude. Big up, lovely photo. Lovely photo. Of course. Big up, Darkus. Big up, everyone, of course, in the stream, guys. Absolutely. Yeah, look, what I would say is that, the game is going to be coming thick and fast. And unfortunately, we probably win the game against Tottenham. And we win the game against Tottenham, we got the international break again, sadly. But however, after the international break, we got some games winnable, very winnable games. Let me just look at the games that we got coming up. Let me just look at Man United fixtures. Because I want to see after the international break who we got. Because don't forget we got the FA Cup coming up in January as well. So after the international break, we got Everton on the 25th of November, which is, guys, dun 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 dun. What is it? Dun 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 dun. It's my birthday. 25th of November is Everton against Man United, so they better not annoy me on my birthday. Absolutely. Better not annoy me. Better not annoy me. Absolutely not. So we got Everton on the 25th of November. On the 30th of November, we got Palace away. Pretty tricky, that one. We got West Ham at home on the 5th of December. Doing well today. So that, let me say, win against Everton, draw against Palace, win against West Ham, win against Wolves on the 9th, Bournemouth on the 13th at Old Trafford, win against Bournemouth. Some it's not easy. I want to say the easy. I think the hardest one there is Crystal Palace. That stands out above everything. If we manage to beat Everton and get a result against Crystal Palace and we win the rest of those games, Champions League football, here we come. It does look that way, to be honest with you, guys. I definitely wouldn't rule it out, guys. Absolutely. I think we'll smash Forest at Old Trafford. Yes, we will, mate. We will. If it was at Old Trafford yesterday, we'd have won. One thing that concerns me, you reminded me, RJ, one thing that concerns me is that how comes Man United to play one game at home and then they end up playing 2 away? 1 game at home, 2 away. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Darkus, in the past, we were Peter's and kicked on after the new year. That was the old days, Darkus. Man United used to go into their own after the Christmas. They used to just go on the next run. We were 12 points behind Newcastle in December. We ended up catching Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? And we used to go on these ridiculous runs, and regularly we would win 7-8 games in a row. Regularly. And sadly, it doesn't happen like that anymore. Palace is another final, another team, RJ, that we need to get one over. Another team we need to get one over, absolutely, especially at Selhurst Park. Sorry, perennial slow starters, but kicked on. I got you, mate. I got you. I got it in the end, absolutely. But yeah, I put 2 and 2 together, absolutely. So yeah. Back in the day under Alex Ferguson, we notoriously went into our own. We notoriously were serial winners after the Christmas and after Christmas, not after the Christmas, after Christmas. We were serial winners back in them days. And we used to go on ridiculous runs. And if we were behind, we used to thrive when we were a little bit behind, and we used to catch up the teams. We used to catch up. Good times, good times. Hopefully we can get back to those days, those glory days, of course, guys, absolutely. Where we used to, challenge. Good. I mean, that would be nice. Man United to challenge. I don't know if it was that would upset a few people, but there you go. You can't please everyone, guys. Absolutely. RJ, I don't think Arsenal beat Palace at Selhurst Park, Sal. I'm not sure, mate. I think they drew, didn't they? If I'm not wrong. Arsenal lost to Liverpool. Arsenal should have drew against Man United. That was a terrible decision for the referee. Referee gave him the game. And you're looking at that. That gave him momentum, didn't it? That is what football is, though, isn't it? It's about momentum. Every time you just need that decision to go your way. You know what I mean? Haaland FC are playing soon. Yeah, they're playing soon, guys. Absolutely. Yeah, bloody Man City. They're getting in a bit of rich train of form as well, unfortunately. So Man United have got to start winning these games. Absolutely. I think that is what the biggest disappointment was about yesterday. The fact that teams are getting into form now, and we need to take advantage of teams who are not in form. And just like now, we're only 2 points from the top 2, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just have a look at the league table right now. I'm just going to have a look at the league table, Premier League table. I'm going to look at this. The Premier League table. league table. Here we go. Let's have a look. So we are at the moment, Chelsea won, didn't they? Sod it. 17. No, we're 1 point. 1 measly point, guys. We're 1 point from second. We're seventh. We're seventh, no doubt, but we're 1 point from second. However, if Man City win today, they will be on 19, will be 2 points from second. Man City can move into the top two. They can move into the top two. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're playing Bournemouth, innit? Yeah. Look, the league is looking like Arsenal's. It just looks like Arsenal. Just like everything is playing into Arsenal's hands. Just looks like everything, all the games that are fixtures and stuff. It does look like Arsenal are going to, unless they have a miraculous slip up, you know, and they start declining and start moving down that league. Absolutely. I mean, you never know. Phil, Sal, we only just started to click as a team in the system. I think the new year will be realistic to be looking at where we are. I think the new year will be more realistic to look at. I think you can make a judgment in Christmas, around Christmas to January. But I have a good feeling. mate. I really do. As long as we can kick out the bozo moments in our team, I think we'll be all right. I think we'll climb up that league. I actually think we'll get in the Champions League. Darkus, would love to see Amarim pointing at his watch in the 97th minute. Man, get some chewing gum as well, Darkus. Get some chewing gum and, you know what I mean? Absolutely. You know what? This is the thing, though. This is mind games, isn't it? This is what you got to do in football. You got to play those mind games. You got to play mind games with a referee because subconsciously, you know, they think it works because they'll start thinking, oh, maybe he's got a point. You know what I mean? And I think we should do that. Anderson carried Forest yesterday. Yeah, he did. The Spurs versus Chelsea game was horrible. Yeah. If Sunderland win, we will be 3 points off second. Yeah, Sunderland will win. If buts and maybes. Let's live in the present, my guy. Absolutely. I wonder how Belabor did yesterday, but it was Leeds, so I don't know. I don't care. I mean, I don't know. I mean, didn't hear much about it. Kind of ripped it all apart. Kind of absolutely tore it down because I didn't really hear much about him yesterday. I want to see how Belabor does against Liverpool and Arsenal. He hasn't been playing well, has he? He's got to pick it up, regardless of the team. He's got to pick it up at the end of the day. That's what he has to do. And because at the moment, his performances have been atrocious. And he's been subbed and everything like that. So obviously we're looking at, if you were going to pick a player right now, right, you said you can have him in your midfield right now, who would it be? It'd be Elliot Anderson, wouldn't it? That's what I mean. That's what we're talking about. You know, you perform well, people are going to be looking at you and thinking, wow, what a player. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously now Elliot Anderson is the main guy. But obviously we got to play against Adam Wharton in a few weeks. So interesting one coming up, guys. Interesting one coming up. Adam Wharton's a great player. I would like Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson. Imagine that midfield. England have probably one of the best midfielders, best midfields in the world, in my opinion, at the moment. Guys, absolutely. Gee, West Ham, some tough. Yeah, they are, mate, RJ. They are a very tough team. And West Ham cost us 2 league titles, RJ. Let's not forget that. Of course, let's not forget 1995, of course, actually did us a favour because we ended up bringing through the class of 92. You know what I mean? Big win for the Hammers, absolutely. And what is going on with Eddie Howe? You know, what's going on with him? Lost to Liverpool, lost to Arsenal, lost to West Ham. You know what I mean? There you go, guys. When are they going to be calling for his name, his job, like they have been doing with Ruben Amorim for weeks and months and years? You know what I mean? When are they going to start calling for his job? When they're going to start calling for him to be sacked? You know what I mean? They're not. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? The double standards are absolutely madness at this football club, guys. I want to thank everyone, of course, as I do, for joining me tonight, of course. Really appreciate you. Marky Mark, yeah, he completely ran that midfield. You're right, Sal. I would like both, but I know that Ineos were, yeah, they won't get both, mate. Look, guys, here's a scenario. Let me give you a scenario, right? We could sign Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton, right? Or Elliot Anderson and Benjamin Stiller. 2 midfielders, right? Let's, for example, argument's sake. But we sign nobody else. Would you rather that or Man United sign a wing-back, a midfielder, let's say a defender, a left wing-back, rather than just 2 midfielders? But it's cheaper to get the players in all positions. I think I'll take the midfielders, you know. I think I'll take Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton, or Elliot Anderson and Stiller. I think I'll take that all day long. I think I would. I think I'll take the midfield because I think that midfield would absolutely fix everything. And I think we can find, we need to delve into our academy and find a young, up-and-coming player, of course, someone like Mantato or something like that. But guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. I really appreciate you. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're lurking in the shadows. Please don't forget to smash a like as well, guys. If we can get up to 50 likes by the end of tonight, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Please don't forget to put your notifications on as well. I will be back for Breaking Dawn tomorrow morning, guys. Thanks again for all your well wishes and that yesterday. Really appreciate every single one of you who sent me those kind messages. But Ava Bay 5-9 and won 3-0 yesterday. Didn't hear much of it. Didn't hear nothing about him. Sal, Paqueta would be a good buy. Absolutely, Wesley. Big up, Wesley. I think Liverpool will go for Baleba then. Let them be. Guys, thank you so much. I'll be back for Breaking Dawn tomorrow. Don't forget to join me for that. It's going to be a big show. Have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Peace.